once, in a faraway land, there was a queen that was the fairest lady in the land. Her hair was the thing she most admired. She loved it more than anything. She brushed it twice a day. It was long and golden and had not a grey in sight. One day, while in court, an old maiden came. The queen laughed at the lady's hair, and told her to tame it, for it was like a bird's nest. Everyone laughed at the old hag. The woman then puffed up her chest, and she said, "You are a selfish queen, and you will pay with your one true love." And the queen did pay the very next day. Her maids awoke to an awful, ferocious scream. "My beloved hair is gone!" screamed the queen, and tears started to roll down in streams. "My golden hair that made the sun's rays envious is gone!" raged the furious queen. "Find that wretched witch and bring her to me." The queen's knights searched all day and found her under an old oak tree. "What did you do with my beautiful hair, you witch?" demanded the queen. "I took it to teach you a lesson," replied the witch. "Give it back!" screeched the enraged queen. The woman just laughed at the queen's rage. "You will receive your hair once you realize what true beauty is," the witch finalized. "Liar! You're keeping it for your own use," yelled the queen, and she locked herself in her chamber. Now, to the overdramatic queen, this was a major crisis. She idolized her hair. She would spend hours brushing it and seeing how fair it was. She would always gloat about her hair and let it grow down to mid-thigh. She would always ridicule hair less fair, making its owner cry. She locked herself in her suite till November, waiting for her hair to grow. It never did. One day a clever maid told the queen to just wear a wig. Nothing could compare to her gorgeous hair, a maid kid. The queen ordered, though, a wig-maker to come to her palace the very next day. The wig-maker she declared, though, to be a scum, for the wig did not even barely compare to her golden locks. This went on for weeks, because she saw all the wigs to be too faux. The queen almost gave up. Then, one day, an old wig-maker rode up. He told the queen he could make a wig as fair as her golden sun-kissed hair. The queen rejoiced to hear such words, and swore to pay him what he deserved if he could make a wig so grand. But if he failed, he would be banned from the palace forever. The wig-maker replied, "Do not fret, my lady, I will not fail, but I do need the hairs from a unicorn tail." "Hairs from a unicorn tail? That's impossible!" the queen raged. "It's improbable. Do unicorns even exist?" questioned the queen. "And do not play jokes on me in my mists. They do exist, my fair queen," explained the wig-maker. "They can be seen over the mountain that is across your kingdom, running everywhere with great freedom," explained the wig-maker. "But you must come on the journey, for the hair's magics are greater fresh rather than old. Even a day could make a difference," he explained. The queen faltered in her interest, but then quickly agreed to come, all for the sake of hair. They set out on their journey the very next morning. It was a fair morning, not too hot, but not too cold. But the queen stayed locked in her carriage, which was quite old and rickety. Only after an hour of travels, as fate would have it, a wheel broke on a bit of gravel. "We must go back," demanded the queen, who would never walk on dirt and risk her clean slipper soil. But my queen, we cannot waste even an hour, for this is a week's journey, and Unicorn Hair's powers will only last till the end of summer, which is in but a week," cried the wig-maker. "Also, they will be moving to a new niche," he added. "Those hairs better live up to my standards, or you will be taking demands from a mule when I'm done with you," threatened the queen. "Trust me, my lady, once someone has seen unicorn hair, little can compare," he assured the queen. "But, as some of you may already know, unicorns are so fair, if you damage one in any way, you will be cursed. The wig-maker knows this, and is doing this to make the queen's curse worse. This is why he had the queen come. Magic never fades in something as magical as unicorns. Unicorns do make trades, though, for the hair, but only on rare occasions to those most deserving, to one that shows a heart that is pure and good to the root." That night, and they sat around a campfire eating fruit and telling stories about their harsh lives. Everyone but the queen, who always strived to be better and above everyone else, even if it made her an outcast on the trip. She had a servant set up her silk tent, not wanting any of her precious time spent doing such a strenuous task, and she sat on a bench looking out on the vast land, taking in the beauty and the air, thinking and daydreaming of her old, long golden hair. And 6 days later, they finally arrived to the top of the hill, and below they could see unicorns. With a thrill, the queen, pumped with excitement, raced down the hill. She Her feet, to Moses' amazement, moved as quick as a cheetah. If she had her hair, it would be flowing behind her like melted Velveeta. Everyone raced down after her. When she got to the bottom, there were the most magnificent animals in front of her. So beautiful, it was like looking at true love. Just touching such an animal should be a crime. I cannot cut off the hairs of these unicorns. They are so prime and lovely. I could not destroy them. I cannot believe I have been so self-centered. I am so naive, cried the queen, and she burst into tears. Suddenly, something quite special happened. A unicorn presented the queen with hairs. For the queen had learned there was more than her own beauty. The queen sniffled her tears when the unicorn put the hairs at her feet. Oh, why, thank you very much. How sweet. But I have better intention for these hairs. When the queen returned to the kingdom, she declared she had affairs she needed to attend to. The next day she went to the witch and drew out the hairs from a satchel and gave them to the witch. I think you deserve these more than me, for you have taught me an important lesson, which changed my life, and I thank you for it, said the queen. I see you have learned your lesson, and your hair will be yours again, declared the witch. Why, thank you very much, exclaimed the queen. But I will not switch back to my old ways, for I have learned my lesson, and I thank you for that. And that is the story of the Fair Queen and the Witch. And now I bid you all good day.